Trump may have this thing sewn up. Ted Cruz hasn't thrown in the towel yet. In fact, he did something that we haven't seen a candidate do for 4 decades. He named a running mate. Traditionally, you wait to be nominated to name a running mate, but why did he do that, Olivier? And tell us about his choice.
He picked Carly Fiorina, who was running for the Republican nomination earlier in the cycle and ultimately dropped out. That it is an unusual move, extremely unusual, but he needs to get more attention. Donald Trump has been hogging up the media attention, and he needs to send signals to Republican voters. He's clearly angling for that second or third or fourth or whatever it is ballot at the convention. He did get talked about, but actually one really interesting thing is he talked the day of that announcement. He actually spoke for something like 35 minutes before Fiorina even came on stage, and it had the vague feel of like, I need to compete with Donald Trump's rallies and speeches where he gets all this media attention. He spoke at length about his campaign, about his goals, and about the rest of it. It is one wonders whether this is going to last longer and go better than his very deeply bizarre deal with John Kasich to sort of divvy up the next couple of primary states. He's making the case that that people should really give him a good long look at the convention.
You know what I thought when he announced he was going to make this big announcement? We all knew beforehand he was going to name Carly Fiorina as his VP. He got all the cable networks to cover him, and he wouldn't give up the mic. He gave basically a stump speech for half an hour, and I thought, well, that's a pretty smart use. I'm not sure Carly Fiorina does him much electoral good, but at least he got attention for a half hour to kind of make his case. John Kasich, you mentioned him in this kind of bizarre alliance that they announced at the first part of the week. Are they still allies, Naftali?
That's actually really hard to tell because they both, in their own way, seem to be distancing themselves from or downplaying it. But I think these moves by John Kasich and Ted Cruz, they really only confirm Donald Trump's dominant frontrunner status because these are emergency moves. You don't do these unless you're pulling out the hammer and breaking the glass. And I think, there's been too much hyperbole perhaps already in this campaign season, but I think this is the week that it's clear what the fall campaign is going to look like, that it's going to be a Trump-Clinton campaign. I mean, Trump had high expectations. He exceeded them. He won every county. He won every congressional district in the 5 states that held primaries on Tuesday. And I think this idea of giving it to someone else at the convention, while always extremely remote, is, I think, even more of a fantasy at this point. And it just looks like that's what we're looking at in the fall, a Trump-Clinton race.
Let's just stop for a moment. Here we are.